Ready?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, can we stand for the pledge, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm sorry, what? Yes, you got 5.
All right, welcome to mine and Leah's final meeting. So need a motion to approve the minutes from the last 2 meetings. Danielle, Tammy, all in favor? Motion carries. So update from the superintendent.
Yes, I have a bunch of things to summarize today. First, I want to congratulate Michelle Muckle, our middle school. This year, she's an 8th grade special education teacher who's retiring after 32 years of service with the district. And although it was formally adopted, this is the last couple weeks. So I just wanted to thank her for her service and say that she'll be greatly missed. The next thing I want to update everybody on is just a thank you to the PTSA and the Booster Club. I had an opportunity to say it in person to the Booster Club yesterday, but the efforts were really extraordinary to just get people to pay attention and to be engaged and to understand that their voice matters, and their lobbying and their advocacy just to even develop the second budget and then certainly get people out was absolutely wonderful, and I appreciate it tremendously. As you know, the vote was outstanding, most importantly because we had over 1,100 people that voted and were engaged, which are numbers that we just usually don't see, so that's absolutely tremendous. Our first one, I think, was 931 or 941, one of those two numbers, so to top even that was absolutely fantastic. There was some feedback. As you know, many people filled out exit surveys and things like that. Nothing earth-shattering on that. But there was some feedback, both positive and negative, for the location. Many of the elementary parents really liked the location. Many other community members did not like the location and really had some troubles with that. So one of the things we had talked about, and Laura, you can jump in at any point, we talked about last night at the PTSA meeting is for PTSA to work through their recommendations and their ideas and then share that back with me and share that with the board. And one of the things that we had talked about is if the board desired to do it in the elementary school again, that we would have to make that either a half day or a full conference day just to keep it safe for kids. And we could make a calendar adjustment if we needed to, but I wanted to make sure that legitimately everybody was on board, and that was something that the mass community wanted to see for all the right reasons. The PTSA had some really great ideas building off of what they did both on the original vote and then the secondary vote. Lori heard really good, actually, I think you all heard really good feedback on the trucks and the events. So just trying to figure out how do you capitalize on the awesomeness of the art show and all the things related to showcasing our music and arts, yet some of the activities that really drew out people, and try to find that balance to not give people extra work, to not diminish anything that anybody's done, and not to make it too cumbersome for everybody. So they're going to work with the character ed based on their feedback, which I think will be really, really great. One of our challenges now that's still out there is Huddle. I mentioned that to you. The way Huddle gets funded is, well, currently right now the district pays for it and receives the aid back the following year. As you know, we weren't able to put Huddle into our budget. And the ask, which was a huge ask to the Booster Club, was if they wanted to support it. And I know they want to support it, but financially it is a huge ask. And the challenge becomes the aid that's driven, which wouldn't show up on the year they donated the money, which would be next year. It would show up the following year. So the question that we asked our attorneys would be, because they're paying for it, can we give them back that aid? Give them a credit when we get it. And unfortunately, you can't. It's a gift of public funds. So we wouldn't be able to do that. So Huddle is still kind of in transition right now. And I just mentioned that because I know it's not a huge portion of our budget, but it's something very near and dear to people, and they feel really passionate about it. So I wanted you to be fully aware of just some of our limitations with that, and understanding that, it's a problem now, but it's also probably going to be a problem in the future too. So it's something that we're going to have to think about short and long term. Hiring, we're in pretty decent shape. We still have one special education teacher now that the budget is final and we're not going down to pre-K. I have one special education teacher at the elementary school to hire, and then certainly the director of special ed, which I've kept the board apprised about that. Academically, I don't have any updates for you right now. We won't get any of our results and benchmarking and all those type of assessments, so we can see where the kids are and where they're going and some of the areas that we need to work on until a little bit into the summer, but I'll have that for you as soon as it's available. And then lastly for me, I just want to thank 3 of our board members. One is not here, but I'll get her when she comes. I'd like to thank Jack Roddy and Leah Wertz, who have been with the board. Leah, was it 12 years for you? And Jack, 13?
Mhm.
12 and
Thank you.
13.
Oh, whiskey?
This is. It is not. It's not. Should be, Jack. Should be. And this isn't for Jack. This is for his lovely wife, Pam,
Thank you.
who allowed him to come all these meetings. I just want to thank.
Force me.
I just want to thank you both for your unwavering support of the district, pushing not only myself, but a community needs and wants to get the district where it's going. Leah in particular with social emotional needs, Jack very much with fiscal responsibility and making sure that we had adequate pre-K and that it was funded and sustained over time. So I just want to thank you both for that. And I'd ask everybody just to join me in thanking them for their highly paid work here as Board of Education members.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Perfect. Kelly, do you have anything? This is your turn now.
Be brief, yeah. We're the biggest ticket item in my building are moving up ceremonies, which are starting tomorrow with pre-K, and Monday kindergarten, and Tuesday is 5th grade.
I'll be at both.
Say that again?
I'll be at,
I don't doubt it. I look forward to seeing you there. The heat index looks like it's going to be a little rough Monday and Tuesday, but our moving up ceremonies are first thing in the morning. So I think we'll be just fine and luck out there. And hopefully we'll have the AC.
Yeah,
cranked.
I don't want to jinx it, but it's
Okay.
been working well. I don't even want to speak it into existence.
So all of our moving up ceremonies are in the district auditorium, which is nice. One thing to look ahead for next year, we will be starting to pilot some new math programs next year. We're in the planning phases for that. That's been something that's kind of been explored and discussed and worked on with our math program review team all year. And we landed on a couple of programs to pilot. Now it's just kind of negotiating some price points for pilot materials, which is outrageous, but we're working on it. And more to come on that next year. So I look forward to sharing updates with you there. And just from myself individually as a new, I can't say I'm new anymore, but administrator, coming into a school district like this, Jack and Leah, I really feel that your leadership on the board is something that is, I don't want to say rare, but I think the way you've guided discussions and difficult decisions and engaged the community and worked with school building and district leadership just to kind of figure things out and land in a place that works for students and works for our community is much appreciated by me. And I don't want to speak for everyone else, but I think we all really appreciate having been a part of your leadership over the past more than a decade. So thank you very much.
well, thank you. Honestly, Angelina made it very easy. Thank you. So it's committee and liaison updates. Anybody have anything? I think we're, again,
We've had so many meetings. I think.
huge thank you to everybody for the vote. It was, Lori, you guys did a phenomenal job. Thank you. Okay, that brings us to the cell phone policy. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to read it, so we need a motion to put that on the table. I'm sorry. Danielle, Ryan, you guys all read it, right? Okay, good.
So in a nutshell, just for those of you that haven't had the chance, this was developed through shared decision-making process. the foundation of the things were mostly there, right? We've always had policies about cell phones, particularly in the middle school and the elementary schools. There's nothing major there. But high school, it was not bell to bell. We weren't consistent about using it in class and not using it in class. And the kids could certainly use it in unassigned, unstructured areas like lunch and things like that. So with the governor's new, I think it's
Mandate.
a law. It's a mandate. That's probably the best way to say it. It's bell to bell. So this policy attends to that. What was shared was where the kids would store it, how violations of it would be attended to, like what the consequences would be. And actually, not only did our building administration work on this, but Paula, our new principal, was also involved in that process too. So she was involved. And then that went to the building leadership team, which is a shared group of teachers, staff members, and parents that sit in that could opine on this as well. So it was vetted the right way. And as I shared with the board previously, as we go through it and we get feedback, if we need to tweak something, we can tweak something. Nothing is finalized. I think it'll be something that we'll have to attend to. I shared with PTSA last night, we're not getting Yonder pouches. 1, they're ridiculously expensive. 2, you couldn't get them even if you wanted to get them. And 3, you need people to actually man them, and we don't have those people. And honestly, the kids can get around that too, to be frank. They just do other things. So they're going to likely use their lockers. Many kids don't go to lockers now, but that'll just have to be a part of what they do and part of that process. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, so all in favor? Motion carries. Brings us to the district-wide emergency response plan. Motion to put that on the table. Leah, Dina, any discussion?
This is required by New York State Department of Education. Questar works on this for us. It's in a very, very specific format, and it's shared with the appropriate people. We upload it into a state portal, but basically it's got how you would respond on a generic level to certain things, not this is where we keep these things, not something that would be private that we wouldn't want to share with maybe bad characters, but it has all the important people for contacts and things like that. And it gets updated every year as new mandates and new things come in. So for example, in 2021, we had to add information about remote learning, should you ever have to go back to remote learning again. So every year we do this.
All right, all in favor? Motion carries. Brings us to special ed, or summer curriculum, I'm sorry. Motion to put that on the table. Tammy, Ryan, any discussion?
Just something that makes me a little sad. We didn't have nearly the amount of money that we've had in the past. 1, just because we don't have nearly as much money to put in the curriculum lines for this, but 2, we don't get as much grant money as we've gotten before in the past. And that just diminishes the amount of curriculum work that can be done, which is unfortunate. But these are all vetted through our curriculum assessment, which Ryan sits on that. And the whole body looks at every request, and I don't want to say its value, but ranks things in terms of priority about what's most important to get done. So you'll see there's work that is paid for in this fiscal year, and then there's work that's paid for with money from the next fiscal budget that are approved tonight.
All right, all in favor? Motion carries. Brings us to special ed. Motion to put 8.1 through 8.3 on the table. Tammy, Ryan? All in favor? Motion carries. That brings us to 9.1 through 9.12. Motion to put that on the table. Tammy, Ryan? I keep looking that way. Any discussion?
I just want to thank under 9.6, Carl Siles, who is our earth science teacher. He very regretfully is taking a position much closer to his home so that he's not in the car over an hour every day. And he's just been absolutely wonderful, and he's reinvigorated the earth science part of our program. We've got kids in electives that never wanted to be in electives, so he'll be sadly missed. And I just want to thank him. I totally respect his balance with his family, but we're going to miss him.
All right. All in favor? Motion carries. And finally, 10.1 through 10.14. Dina, Leah? Any discussion on any of this?
It's all pretty basic.
Yeah.
The only thing that's different is you have 2 budget vote, which we normally only have 1.
Right. So we're certifying the 2 elections.
That's correct.
All right, all in favor? Motion carries. So that brings us to public comment.
Before public comment, I forgot to mention, can I introduce you to Emily O'Brien, who is our new special education teacher over here in the middle school. She's actually replacing one of the positions that we have open. So Emily comes to us from Lansingburg, and we're really excited to have her.
Hello, Emily. Thanks for coming out tonight. Public comment?
You can give your sheets to Mo, Ms. Jensen. Good. Hi, folks. I'm gonna stand out of respect. I'm gonna sort of reiterate some of the things that Angelina and Kelly said. First of all, I'd like to congratulate both Jack and Leah. You've done a really good job, and I think Kelly's right when she says it's rare, I think, that your approach to being school board members. Also, thank you for, like Angelina said, your high-paid service to the teachers in the community. You've heard me say that before. I mean, it's volunteer work. You can't make everybody happy, and you're going to get a lot of pressure. So thank you for that. So I think, yeah, Leah, you were elected in 2013. You served 12 years. Jack, I think you were appointed when you first started.
That's correct.
For Karen's
Karen
Gursky,
Sikorsky.
right?
Yes.
And then you got reelected, I guess, 4 other times, I suppose. And then you were union president for 7 years.
Yes.
And just kind of interesting. I don't know why I did this.
You're a history teacher.
I think that's it, right?
It is.
So here's some names. So 1976, and I don't have all of them. I just have a lot of files, and so I put some things together. So in 1976, the board president was Chris Bolson. Then in 1979, it was Donald Willett. Then Robert Gibson, I think, was board president from 1982 to 1988.
I think that's what it says over there.
It's funny, I did all this, and then I was like, oh, there's a flag. I could have just looked at that. Then there's David Gardam, was a president for 5 years or so. Roger Boothroyd. Then David Little was union president, followed by Debbie Dujak. She started, I think, in 2000 and went to 2003. Then Tony Abate, who's been at some meetings recently. Paul Daly was president, I think, for 2 years, followed by Matt Wade. And then Mike Fortune took over. And you had heavy shoes to fill when you started. Like Matt Wade and Mike Fortune, were both very good board presidents.
Yes.
And I had my doubts.
Me too. I still do.
But so Jack, there's Jack and Leah, because both is president and vice president. I just think you established something. I could say a lot of things, but I'm going to focus on 2. One was that you were always very respectful of the whole time. You have been respectful of teachers. You've been respectful of students. You've been respectful of community members when they speak. I mean, when they came in and they would bark at you sometimes, I don't think I ever saw you snap back. Instead, and sometimes you'd answer people's questions, and sometimes you just say thank you. And I just think that worked really, really well. So that's the first thing. I thought that respect was really important, and that is contagious. And I think that a lot of people feel that. And you'll leave that, I think, legacy, both of you. The other thing I'll say is that you were selfless. What I mean by that, I think a lot of people become school board members because they have an agenda, or they have something that they want just for themselves or just for their kid. And when something happens, on the phone with the superintendent, they don't talk to the teacher first. They're using this power, right? Nobody likes that. I would guess that you never did that. I don't think you've ever gone to Angelina and said, hey, I need this done for me. And not only would it be inappropriate, I just don't think that you've done that. And you guys have carried yourselves with a lot of dignity. I appreciate you. And I guess that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Last name Hoffman.
Would I like to stand up or just?
Yep, you can stand.
If, the last senior class, they have a bad reputation because of their whole senior shenanigans, and understandably so, it's put a lot of restrictions on seniors this year. In the future, of showing good mannerisms, will other senior classes be able to have a little more privilege and be able to do a little more, maybe have a lounge or cross the street for lunch sometimes when it's not such a good lunch day.
Definitely not across the street. But a lounge, maybe. But your class actually did a good, fair deal to build that trust back up, to be very honest with you. And that's why you got to go on an overnight trip.
Awesome, appreciate it. That's all.
Jonathan Perez.
Hi, yeah, I was wondering if we could put a button at the front doors to like automatically open the doors for like maybe disabled people or people like students that got injured throughout the year. Like the front, Miss Olson, she could push the button to unlock it, then you could push the button and automatically open the doors for students.
That's a good one. We're actually the whole front vestibule is being ripped apart and redone this summer. So I honestly can't say that I remember for sure that there's a handicap button, but I'd be shocked if there wasn't, because I would think they would have to as part of ADA. So my suspicion is probably yes, but that's all going to be redone this summer.
Angelo.
My question was, what are your guys' short-term plans for the future? Like if you guys have any like important goals or anything regarding like maybe next 2 years.
I'm retiring.
You recovery is improving. I'm not sure. But.
I would say to stay fiscally solvent and still offer the programs that we offer. That would be one of my goals.
Thank you.
Katie.
Hi. I just had a quick question. I know that we have the new cell phone policy that is going to be enacted for the high schoolers. Are there any plans for kind of getting parents on board? I anticipate that parents are probably going to be pretty divided on this. And I'm just wondering if there's any idea of what you might want to try to put in motion to make sure that people are on board before things get crazy.
So our new principal is actually going to host a parent seminar. We just don't have the date yet. We're going to wait to see the construction schedule. And then this was an important piece too. But yes, we're going to welcome the parents in. It'll also be covered during all the open houses. We'll probably make a presentation at PTA at probably the first meeting, but definitely something over the summer to introduce it and roll it out. And since so many other schools have done it, we'll look to what they did too, to pick on their ideas, to pick up on their ideas.
Idea of maybe having somebody that is a professional that might be able to speak on the topic and
I hadn't, but I think that's a great idea.
you know, maybe come in and say why this policy works, why, you know, backing it up with statistics and stuff. I know when Ken and Kelly, you know, had us together earlier in the school year, last year, when they had the group of parents together, I thought that it was really well done and really informative, and it really kind of opened my eyes personally and gave me gave me a pathway to look into more information and to really kind of make a decision for myself on where I stood personally with it. So
That's a good point. I know that was the feedback that you and Ken got. Just like I thought this, but I didn't know some of the impacts of those things. So certainly I'll think about that, who we could have that. That's a great idea.
Wait till 8th has a lot of great statistics and information to back that up, and they
I'm
might
sorry, what did you say?
wait till 8th.
Oh, wait till 8.
Yeah, it's a petition that we're trying to get one started for Tamarack. You have to have a certain amount of people sign it before it becomes official. We're so close. But it's basically just runs through all the information. It outlines why it's bad, why the screen time's bad, why the interactions, the social media, breaks everything down. And encourages parents to say, okay, I'm with you, I'll wait till 8th. And it's not a total ban on all cell phones. It's still, they can have a cell phone, but it's having everything available on it, the internet, the social media.
difference between smartphone and flip
Yes.
phone.
Yeah, so that's out there. It's great. That presentation was great. I think having that again would be a very
Yeah.
beneficial idea.
I wasn't able to pull it together for the spring, but it's still kind of an open,
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy to do it again, you know, with or without Paul. I can touch base with her over the summer.
Yeah. I mean, I think the hard thing,
Because those resources are still relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the hard thing is finding a time that people can really dedicate, because I think people want to go, but they're pulled in so many different
I think there were
things.
10 people, then that, I think it went well. We really appreciated your feedback. I think the people that attended were really engaged and got a lot out of it. But it was just a small, it was a kind of an intimate. group.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's even something like, you know, when you do kindergarten, you have like kindergarten orientation, you have the audience of the, or the attention of all the parents that are there, you know, so maybe it's something like that, where if there's, you know, an open house or something like that for, you know, high school or entering in, whatever it might be, or just a parent informational night, something that they are coming anyway, and we know that their attendance is gonna be there, maybe kind of piggybacking off that might, even if it's kind of short and not, I think we were we for 2 hours or
Yeah, it was
something?
long,
We were here for a
yeah.
long time, you know, we had a big
Yeah.
discussion, but just something that's kind of brief, and then, you know, I think maybe that will start the ball rolling and get the conversation.
And I don't want to make assumptions, but I assume that PTSA would be happy to co-sponsor it just to get the engagement out there too.
Angelina, I also had a suggestion that, I mean, during budget time, Stephanie makes presentations throughout every meeting. Maybe we start making really quick presentations as to why this is important in our meetings.
Sounds great.
That's it? All
So
right,
before we close,
before we close,
I would like to thank Val for her tenure
Thank you
of
very
board
much.
service. Thank you.
okay, so we need to make a motion to move into executive session for personnel. Kevin, Ryan, all in favor? All right, thank you all for coming.
Hey, Jack, thanks, thank you, appreciate it. Leah, thank you, appreciate it. I couldn't see you behind the flowers, Jack.
Say thank you too,
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you.
All good.
Thanks, Elsie.